I've got breaking news, shocking news. No, I'm not talking about the Senate races in Georgia. I don't really care about that news anymore. It's going to be what it's going to be. No, I've got a much more shocking news from NBC. Trans women retain athletic edge after a year of hormone therapy. Study finds. Well, a new study suggests transgender women, also known as men, maintain an athletic advantage over their cisgender peers, also known as women, even after a year on hormone therapy. Oh my goodness, you're kidding me. Wow, it would appear that the genius experts with many, many years of medical training, research training, MDs and PhDs, they have finally concluded a study that shows what people with even a modicum of common sense have always known to be true, namely that men are physically stronger than women. Can you imagine? We have all seen in recent years, as the gender ideology craze has swept through schools and swept through the culture and swept through sports, there will be some women's track race, and you'll have these two little 90-pound girls, and they're running the track race. And then you get some like 140-pound, 160-pound dude who has long hair and who is pretending to be a woman. And wouldn't you know, he always wins the track race. And then we all have to pretend like, well, no, maybe he was on hormone therapy and, I don't know, he had some kind of plastic surgery, so maybe it's a fair fight. It's obviously not a fair fight. If you permit men in dresses to play in women's sports, then there's no such thing as women's sports. I don't exactly watch the WNBA, okay? I don't even watch the regular NBA. So the sports thing does not really bother me from an entertainment perspective, but it is deeply unfair, isn't it? I mean, the whole point of Title IX was that women are allowed to have their own sports leagues. And then gender ideology comes in and says, no, you don't. And it's kind of funny because Title IX was, at the time, considered a very liberal, progressive movement. And then it created these women's sports teams and leagues and allowed women to get scholarships and allowed women to get awards and have the glory of playing in games. And then another left-wing movement, a far more left-wing movement, comes in and says, actually, women, no, you don't get those sports leagues. This actually ties back into what we were talking about between the economics-obsessed people on the right, just the kind of Mitt Romney, Ben Sass, technocrat types, and the cultural fighters, guys like Donald Trump or Josh Hawley or Ted Cruz or the guys who actually lean into those questions. The economics-obsessed right wing, the basically liberal establishmentarian right wing, they don't want to talk about this. What they're going to say is, oh, come on, how many people are really confused about their sex? It's obviously a very sad condition if a guy thinks he's a girl. And so let's just let's just indulge that delusion, let him compete in the women's track race. And he's obviously going to beat the girls and he's going to take their scholarships and he's going to take their awards. But come on, it would be nice to him. And frankly, I just don't want to deal with it because I'm over here busy trying to lower taxes and allow multinational corporations to expand and try to open our borders to flood the country with illegal aliens. And then give amnesty to them later. So come on, I'm trying to pursue all these really important conservative things. Why should I care if boys are going into the girls' changing room? Why should I care about? That's such a minor issue. It's not a minor issue. And by the way, if this were a minor issue, I agree that the sexual confusion affects a very small number of people, although it is spreading like a social contagion. The number of Gen Zers, people below the, younger than the millennials, who are confused about their sex and gender has skyrocketed in recent years. So there's both a psychological element, but it also spreads socially to varying degrees. But I agree, it affects a small number of people, except not really. If one boy takes away a scholarship from one girl, that is a political problem by beating her at girls' sports. If one guy can go into the little girl's changing room, that is a political problem, even if it doesn't happen that often. That's a big political problem. If this issue, the gender ideology issue, were really some minor issue, then why is the left spending so much time and so much money and so much energy pushing for it? And when they say, who cares? Well, the left cares. Maybe they care for a reason. Don't forget this whole bathroom controversy. Can men go into the ladies' room? This began because the left in Charlotte, North Carolina, decided to pass a bill to allow men to go into the girls' room. They were the aggressors in that culture war. When we hear from the squishy Republican types, oh, give up the culture wars. The conservatives are by definition not the aggressors in the culture wars, right? We're trying to conserve things. We're trying to conserve an old standard. Obviously, the aggressors in the culture wars are the radicals who are trying to overthrow those standards and implement new ones. We should talk about this so much more than we talk about most economic issues. If those squishy Republicans would put 1/100th of the energy into keeping men out of girls' track meets and men out of the girls' changing room as they put into trying to keep the stimulus bill from at $600 rather than expanding to $2,000, if they put just 1 iota of that effort, we would hold the culture. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the subscribe button so everyone wading through the wasteland of YouTube knows that we've got the absolute top content out there.